Ghana this year hosted the World Press Freedom Day for the first time, celebrating the immense contribution of media and journalism to global development. President Nana Akufo-Addo joined guests from around the world to mark the day in Accra. While delivering the keynote address at an awards dinner as part of the event marking the day, President Akufo-Addo says Ghanaians will continue to defend the right to free expression.
Ladies and gentlemen, on 7th January this year, we celebrated the silver jubilee of our nation's Fourth Republic. It has proved to be the most enduring and most successful of the four republics of our history. Its constitution has enabled us to establish our state on sound democratic principles, grounded on the separation of powers. Though the Constitution of the Fourth Republic guarantees freedom of expression, including freedom of the press and other media, as a fundamental human right, and makes elaborate provisions to protect the freedom and independence of the media, the existing laws, which were continued in force by the same Constitution, contain colonial laws in our statute books that were manifestly anti-libertarian and repressive of free speech. That is why, as Attorney General, under the government of the great Ghanaian statesman, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, the second President of the Fourth Republic, I led the process in Parliament for the repeal of the criminal libel law. The repeal, when it occurred on 27 July 2001, was a very happy day for me, representing one of the high points of my public career. The repeal has had a very positive impact on the development of the Ghanaian media, freeing it from unnecessary self-censorship and promoting a robust and critical media culture. In the process, it has contributed to the growth of a vibrant media that has won Ghana the reputation of having one of the most media-friendly and liberal climates on the continent. It has also contributed significantly to the deepening of democracy in our country, enhancing public accountability as a strategic goal of public policy. The parlous justification preferred for the retention of the criminal libel law, its repeal, has made Ghanaian media practitioners reckless and unprofessional in their work, thereby at times damaging the good image and name of public figures and endangering society as a whole. Even as one of the public figures most constantly vilified in sections of the Ghanaian media, and who ironically was a principal actor in the repeal of the law, I continue to insist that its repeal was necessary in the public interest in our emerging democracy. I will say again that I much prefer the noisy, boisterous, sometimes scurrilous media of today to the monotonous, praise-singing, sycophantic one of yesteryear.
Early on 1st May 2018, the President joined the leadership and members of various labor unions across the country to mark International Labour Day, also known as May Day. This year's national event was held at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi under the theme Sustainable Development Goals and Decent Work, the Role of Social Partners.
I thank the leadership of organized labor very much for the invitation to be here with you as we mark the day set aside to celebrate workers around the world. Permit me to begin on a personal note. I am exceptionally touched that this second May Day celebration of my presidency should take place in this stadium, which is named after one of the greatest Ghanaians and most talented footballers our nation has produced, Baba Yara. As co-chair of the group of advocates of eminent persons of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, I'm particularly pleased that the TUC has chosen as the theme of this year's celebration, Sustainable Development Goals and Decent Work, the role of social partners. The adoption of the SDGs has presented our generation with a historic opportunity to eradicate global poverty and hunger, address the challenges of environmental sustainability, achieve quantum leaps in the economic well-being of millions of people, and ensure that no one is in fact left behind. We in Ghana can be justifiably proud of having taken up the challenge of the SDGs. All the goals have been captured in our coordinated program for economic and social development policies, which, in accordance with the dictates of Article 36(5) of the Constitution, I submitted to Parliament last year on 13th November and recently outdoored on 11th April 28. If the SDGs are to be successfully implemented, every citizen must get involved in the program. I'm glad that organized labor sees the SDGs and their implementation as its business and is ready to play its role as a social partner. Government is also doing its bit. On 7 September 2017, I inaugurated a 15-member interministerial committee on the SDGs, which has been working to ensure that Ghana effectively implements the SDGs. I welcome the partnership of organized labor with government and the private sector so that we can work together to develop homegrown solutions to our problems. This will present us with the most effective path to realizing the vision of a Ghana beyond aid. That is why I'm setting up a 10-member committee comprising 3 members each from government, ministries of finance, planning and employment and labor relations, organized labor, and the private enterprise federation to work out, under the chairmanship of that good servant of the Ghanaian people, the Honorable Yao Osafo-Maafo, Senior Minister, in the next 6 months, a charter on Ghana beyond aid. The charter will then be subject to scrutiny and debate by Parliament and adopted as a follow-up to the coordinated program of economic and social development policies. The nation will then know in detail how we intend to move Ghana to a situation beyond aid. While we pay tribute to past labor leaders like the great Pobi Bini, Anthony Wood, Vital Quist, John Tetega, and others for their outstanding contribution to the liberation of our nation from colonialism, I'm hopeful that today's generation of labor leaders will also leave their own indelible marks on the history of our country as we seek to fulfill the dreams of freedom and prosperity that animated the founders of Ghanaian nationalism. Organized labor must help in the realization of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, for they are an investment in our future, the future of our youth and that of our children. We are obliged to leave them with an enduring legacy of a more prosperous, more stable, more secure, more just, and more peaceful world. Let me, in conclusion, commend the TUC for holding this national event outside Accra, just as it had done on some previous occasions. I believe more national events like Independence Day celebrations should follow the TUC's lead and be held outside the nation's capital. Who knows, next year, why not Tamale for Independence Day? May God bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, the Commander-in-Chief of Ghana.
Before joining the celebration at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, President Akufo-Addo launched the Nation Builders Corps, a government initiative to tackle graduate unemployment in Ghana. President Akufo-Addo announced that a total of 100,000 graduates who have completed their national service are expected to be engaged under the program this year. The program will initially operate 7 modules designed to meet the pressing needs of the nation. The Great Hall of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology hosted the launch.
I'm happy you have all been able to join us this morning on what is an important occasion. That is the launch of the Nation Builders Corps, which will employ in this year alone 100,000 young men and women to assist in the public sector service delivery needs of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, the grim story of youth unemployment has been a tragic part of our lives for far too long in Ghana. Data from the renowned Institute of Statistics, Social and Economic Research, ISA, published in March 2017, revealed that only 10% of graduates found jobs after their first year of completing school, and that it takes up to 10 years for a large number of graduates to secure employment. The World Bank's Landscape for Jobs in Ghana report, published in 2016, revealed that about 48% of the youth in the country, that is those who are between the ages of 15 and 24 years, do not have jobs. Indeed, the situation has been worsened by the ban placed on public sector employment by the International Monetary Fund. I believe we all know who and what occasioned that ban. Today, the number of graduates being produced by tertiary institutions has outstripped the number of available job openings. I was alarmed late last year to learn that 250,000 young persons applied to be placed in the Youth Employment Agency's internship model when the available spaces were only 5,000 people. The Ghana Revenue Authority also advertised for various categories of staff. Some 59,951 responded to the advertisement, out of which 20,177 met the requirements, and the available vacancies were 350. It is important that we do things differently if we are going to banish the specter of desperation and restore hope and dignity to our youth. Our ultimate goal as a government is to grow the economy rapidly so that together with the private sector, we will absorb our teeming unemployed youth. That is why I'm using the opportunity offered by the significance of this day, May Day, to launch an initiative which, while lending itself to the symbolic nature of today, will have a positive practical impact on the lives of the citizens of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, In this year's Ajumapa budget, I gave an indication that a new employment scheme will be launched to tackle the issue of the growing number of graduates exiting our tertiary institutions with no job placements in sight. This new initiative is the Nation Builders Corps, simply referred to as NABCO. As a scheme, NABCO's central focus would be to create employment avenues and opportunities for young people who hold diplomas or degrees from accredited tertiary institutions. Central to the objectives of this scheme would be to engage the raw talent of our graduates and equip them with skills through a process of value addition and training. It is a widely acknowledged fact that academic qualifications, be it diplomas or degrees, do not always incline a graduate to perform and deliver productive output at the workplace. NABCO will enhance the dignity and self-esteem of our graduates and will also present them with the added benefit of efficiency and effectiveness in the delivery of some essential public services. By the time our NABCO trainees exit the scheme, the requisite work readiness skills and experience, often deemed a barrier to their employment as fresh graduates, would have been resolved. How will NABCO work? NABCO will be the vehicle to deliver 100,000 jobs in 7 prioritized areas defined as the following modules: Educate Ghana, Heal Ghana, Feed Ghana, Revenue Ghana, Digitize Ghana, Enterprise Ghana, and Civic Ghana. Module qualification and recruitment processes and all the essential criteria, along with detailed information, are all available on the website of NABCO, from where initial applications will be received. The website's address for the receipt of applications and any other information you may need on the scheme is www.nabco.government.gh. After the end of this ceremony, the web portal will be open to begin receiving applications from graduates as long as they are citizens of this country and have duly discharged their national service obligations. There are no charges or costs and no paper application forms to fill. Everything is being done online and on the website of NABCO. This will optimize efficiency in the processing of applications, as well as afford the opportunity for checking with other available national databases to prevent fraud. With the application processes closing on 1st June 2018, it is expected that by 1st July, selected applicants will become this country's first NABCO trainees. Who will receive training and will be deployed to commence their work by 1st August 2018. For the attainment of equity and fairness, every constituency has a stated allocation out of the 100,000 placements. This has been worked out based on a weighting formula, thus ensuring all constituencies, large or small, adequate representation. With the ultimate aim being to help guarantee employability of these graduates, placements would last for a period of 3 years, earning them a stipend of 700 Ghana cedis every month. This is a modest but important beginning towards the restoration of their dignity. Beneficiaries will also receive continuous skills training and retraining on the job, both to equip and guide their future career paths. The security offered by this graduate employment scheme implies that graduates have sufficient time to make prudent choices on their future entry onto the labor market, on potential interests of starting businesses and entrepreneurship, and even on definitive clarity on further learning options, guided by experiences and the benefit of exposure to the world of work. NABCO is placing particular emphasis on some essential core values that are key to building and transforming a nation, and which will be imparted to beneficiaries. Values such as integrity, professionalism, hard work, patriotism, and good customer relations are deemed crucial for any nation to achieve significant output from the productive efforts of its workforce. In establishing performance indicators and standards for NABCO trainees, the scheme will deliberately target evaluative efforts of them to ensure the trainees exit comprehensively prepared for the labor market. Ladies and gentlemen, I hear you asking, what is going to be done about persons who do not have diplomas or degrees? The answer is this. NABCO is freeing up the Youth Employment Agency, YEA, of the burden of dealing with everything to do with employment amongst the youth, especially graduates. NABCO is granting YEA extra absorptive capacity to concentrate on non-graduates. YEA will also recruit 80,000 non-graduates this year. Whilst NABCO commences recruitment of 100,000 graduates. Government's commitment to job creation will not end here, but will be accelerated through the implementation of our flagship programs of One District, One Factory, One Village, One Dam, and the program for planting for food and jobs. We're also creating an enabling economic environment for the private sector to thrive, which will drive in investment, foreign and domestic, and thereby help create jobs. I thank my brilliant, hard-working Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, who has led this effort tirelessly, and all those who contributed immeasurably to making this day possible. To all our young graduates who qualified to enter this scheme, NABCO is yours. Own it and help something meaningful and fulfillment happen for yourselves and for your country. Be proud to say, I am a nation builder, and this country will be thankful to you too for rising up to the challenge. I believe very strongly that Ghana is in the cusp of a bold new beginning, which will repudiate the recent culture of failure. Accordingly, I declare the Nation Builders Corps, NABCO, duly launched.